Kin gathered close by the hearth-fire, what shadows fall upon our own thresholds. If the voices that carry warnings from distant paths are seized by keepers across the river and bound in guarded holds, their tongues stilled and their steps halted?
Hear me, young ones and elders alike, for such folly begins not with thunder, but with the first unanswered call from the boundary watch.
Already in that shadowed settlement, the hearths grew dim as the talebearers, those swift-footed kin who mended nets of news between households, were led away in the hush of dawn, their satchels of shared wisdom left empty by the gate.
By midday in the wide fields the first imbalance stirred. Without those voices to whisper of gathering clouds or wandering beasts, the plough-hands paused, furrows half-turned, seeds scattered to wind instead of soil.
Who guards the growing crops when the watcher's cry is muffled in a far hold?
Tools lay idle in the sun, handles warming without grip, as kin turned wary eyes to empty trails, reciprocity frayed like untied vines.
Labor that once flowed kin to kin now faltered, baskets half filled at season's bend.
As days stretched to the riverbank, where waters once carried traded goods and greetings, the strain rippled outward.
Youth who learned to mend boats from the talebearers' songs now stared at splintered hulls, skills unspoken passing like mist.
Elders by the water's edge murmured of broken circles, their counsel ignored amid the silence, no word of flooding rains or hidden snares.
What becomes of the crossing when trust in the messenger's path dissolves into doubt?
Nets hung limp, fish slipping back to depths, storehouses echoing with hollow want.
Weeks turned to moons in the workshops beyond the pastures, where the seized ones lingered in damp corners of the keeper sealed barns, their forms bent like overstrained yokes, limbs chilled by stone floors where no fire kindled.
Rough winds howled through cracks, drowning the quiet songs of craft, meager scraps molded in bowls, bellies hollowed, strength leaching from frames like dew from untended grass.
Hounds bayed at shadowed gates, paths within grown treacherous and untrod.
Kin networks strained as no fresh hides or woven reeds arrived, reciprocity starved, hands idle without shared law.
Seasons wheeled onward to the council circles at the settlement's heart, where distant stewards gathered seals and tallies, yet the voices remained absent marks of rough handling, etched in faded steps, healers' herbs delayed till wounds festered unseen.
Children clustered at edges, hungry for the old rhythms of planting and harvest tales, their small hands clutching sticks that carved no true patterns.
Who transmits the weave of baskets and the mend of walls when the elders' echo is bound away?
Neighborhood bonds thinned like frost-cracked earth, trades halted at boundaries, flocks straying unguarded into thorns.
Years crept like slow fog over burial grounds at the far ridges, where ancestors' stones stood witness to the deepening hollow.
Households fractured, youngest ones wandering fields with half-remembered chores, elders' fires banked low without hands to tend them.
Lands lay fallow, roots starved of turn and till, wild growth choking the old paths of kin.
Skill chains snapped, one generation blind to the next's labor, trust scattered like chaff in gales.
Hear the elders' unyielding word, kin by this hearth flame. If such seizing of voices endures, your own thresholds crumble, households split asunder, elders forsaken in chill corners, children's bellies gnawed by empty stores, trust withered to dust trails, lands surrendered to bramble and beast, lineages thinned to whispers on the wind.
Turn now to the plough, the net, the shared song, mend what binds us, lest the circle break forever.
Kin by the hearth's steady glow, if the ancient words kindle a spark in your chest, bear it forth into the wide fields and river bends. Let your tongue weave it into songs for the young and the weary. Let your steps carry it to distant thresholds, where hands clasp in shared labor.
Each whisper you send mends the frayed threads of knowing, nourishing the deep roots that bind season to season across the turning years.
Add your echo to the circle's hum, probing not just the heart's quiet corners, but the woven fates of earth and kin we claim as our own.
Etch your signs on the gateposts and trail markers, in tales traded by firelight or marks scratched in the soil, and tread the old paths back to the wellsprings of wisdom.
Stand firm in this tending, and the forebear's fire endures, passing unbroken through the hands that hold it true.